Okay, now if you can find the question number 2, then we shall begin with answering today. Because my aim is I want to each discuss all the questions inside of this set. But I know it's quite impossible lah because we only got 1.5 hours. So I will try my best to target at least to finish, yeah, 4 questions. Okay, but not writing the answers out. Okay, just pure discussion, like how to solve the question itself, and then you will be in task to write the answers out. So of course, we only have 1.5 hours. So let's say if I can finish explaining in the 1.5 hours and all the processes are done, you can then finish them up by setting a timer beside you because your actual paper 2 SPM is 2.5 hours, right? So in class, we already use 1.5 hours to solve all the problems. Then you only got 1 more hour left to write them all out. So that is the task that I want to leave for you. Okay. Can you guys do that? Like after this class, you still got time, do it anytime now, okay, within the week or during the week of your holiday. You can go ahead and try writing all your answers out according to what we have discussed in 1 hour time, because that's how you're supposed to spend your time during the exam. Okay, so we're gonna start, yeah, on the question number 2. So how are you gonna know which chapter you're looking at? The first thing is you see imbangan duga. There's a timbangan juga. It can only be bab 8 pelajaran. It cannot be from 5 chapters one, because in form 5, our record tak lengkap. Club dan persatuan, even perkongsian, they never put imbangan juga. They always give you baki awal, baki akhir, buku tunai, all this. That's why you can easily tell that it's a bab 8 chapter. Not only that, you can also find at the anda tiga hendaki only asking for AKP that you are with PKK. So this is basic question, okay, pelarasan from 4 bab 8. And it's the 8.2 penyata version. 8.2 penyata version. Okay, now I would suggest to split your imbangan juga because too many things for you to find. So if you don't split it, it's very messy, okay? So go ahead and split it maybe, let me see, 4. Okay, maybe every 5 items lah. So I will split one at the susut nilai terkumpul alatan pejabat, one more time at ambilan, one more at sewa, and then the rest is going to be kada bayaran, commission, and pinjaman bank. So we have total of 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 sections of item in this question of 2. Okay, now whoever came in late, we're currently discussing the set paper behind of your set. So you have your January note, 2 parts. First part is our Bab 7 cost pengeluaran and TPM chapter. Second session is last week we did all the question number 1. And third, fourth section is going to be trial paper 2022. So there's 2 sets given. MRSM and the Terengganu set. So you are doing MRSM right now, yeah? Okay, come. So we're not going to have anything to do here. You have to start straight to your maklumat tambahan. So first point, as usual, always to ask for inventory. Now remember that not every shop only has 1 product. This shop has 3 products, is totally fine. As you compare, you make sure to change, you make sure to choose side by side because they give you harga cost, harga pasaran right here. Of course, each of the item will have 2 types of prices. So you choose the lower one for all of them. Baju kurung, this is the lower one. Baju Melayu, 16,740. Jubah, 14,390. So once you have chosen, add them 3 together to become 1. That is inventory accused number. Okay, so jumlah 15650 plus 16,640 and 14,390. Add together, inventory accused is 46780. Okay, so then draw 2 arrows, AKP, AS. We're done with point number 1. Now, at the same time, while you're doing this inventory uphill, you can only also acknowledge a date that is 30 June. That is our tempo. We should start from 1st July 2020. Ends on this date they gave us, 30 June 2021. This is our tempo. But maybe sometimes the payment is not done on the 1st of July. It's like halfway through the 12th month. Then it's fine lah. Just make sure that the maximum you can go to is only 30 June. Cannot be more than that. If it's more than, means you already prabaya. So you cannot do that. Okay? Right. So second point. Asset bukan semasa policy susut nilai. So the formulas are bagi berkurangan cost to minus S&T before you times with the 15% that they want. Okay, second one is kenderaan. They wanted you to use usia guna nilai scrap. Nilai scrap means the amount I estimate to be left with. So the left remaining value. But it's an estimated one because it's according to how long you think you can use. So like example, I say I can use for 10 years. After 10 years, maybe it's only this price. We call it the nilai scrap. Okay, so the formula for this one is going to be cost to minus the nilai scrap to find the differences. So after 6 years, how much of the depreciation is means susut nilai lah, okay? Then we will divide it by the usia guna, how many years. So every year, averagely, how much has it dropped by? So that is the formula for susut nilai. The name of this formula, right, is actually ansuran tetap garis lurus atas cost. It shares the same name as cost times percentage, but instead of giving you percentage, they give you two information like this, nilai scrap and usia guna. So they don't want a percentage way to calculate lah. Okay, come. So let's go back into the imbangan duga side and then calculate these two for them. So we start from alatan pejabat first. Take the cost minus the S&T times with the percentage. Okay, come. Alatan pejabat, the cost is here. 20,400 minus the susut nilai terkumpul 4,005. Do it on your calculator. You will find 15,900 times 15% using your calculator as well. Can you guys get the answer? If you can, we're going to add it somewhere around that you can find easily, that is below of the pinjaman bank. SNA dot pejabat. The answer you should find 2385. Belanja symbol. Okay, I'm going to be a bit faster because we already passed the stage of teaching, because now it's all about revision. You want to do it fast. So I'm teaching you all how you should do during your exam. You need to be able to catch up lah, okay? Right, if any part you cannot, then you can let me know. I will repeat. So susut nilai is found. After SN, you have to find your new susut nilai terkumpul. So you're going to bring this number, add it into the SNT you saw just now, to update it. Okay, so 4,005 plus 2,385. Now your S&T is already 6,885. This is the latest one. Klasifikasi wise, negative asset bukan semasa. Okay, we done the alatan pejabat. Next one is about kenderaan. Same also, we will need the cost lah. But there's no S&T, you don't use that lah, okay? Take the 47,400 on your calculator minus nilai scrap of 7,002. I repeat again, cost is 47,400 minus the nilai scrap 7,200 divided by 6. Once you got the answer, bring it to the same place as your susut nilai alatan pejabat. SN. Kenderaan 6,700. This is belanja. Now at the same time, because we never see any susut nilai terkumpul kenderaan before. Not here, not over here, not here as well, not here also. That's why there is no S&T before, means that the same number is also your susut nilai terkumpul of kenderaan. So I put the same number out lah, just in case lah. Because usually I'm very used to putting comma S&T, but I understand if you guys don't understand, then I better to write this out for you lah. Then you wouldn't get confused. They both are the same figure. Because technically it's the first year you started to kumpul your S&T. So before this, it was 0. You add 6,007 in, it is still going to be 6,700. So that's how the concept works. Okay, all right. So we finish with both the susut nilai question. We move on to point number 3. Hutang yang dihapuskan. Hutang dihapuskan. 200 diterima semula. So at first, right, here is hutang lapor. But because of the diterima semula, here stands for terboleh. So this is not a hutang lapor, this is a hutang lapor terboleh question. So how did we receive the money? We receive it through cash. So the two things that is involved over here is your tunai to increase and hutang lapor terboleh to increase as well. By how much? By 200 ringgit. So they purposely want to make you think that it's a hutang lapor, but actually it's not, because they came back to pay you. You received the money. So now we're just going to do everything on the same page, which is the imbangan duga there. You find your tunai first on the third section. Can you see 1280? Now you add 200 in, it will become 1480. Yes, that's your brand new tunai. At the same time, you want to look for hutang lapor terboleh lah. First section don't have. Second section, no. Third section, no. Fourth section, also no. So that's why we're going to add on ourselves. Hutang lapor terboleh. 200 is a hasil. So you're done with your 2 steps. So all pelarasan question now, you must at least do 2 steps. So if you only do 1 step, it's going to be wrong. You cannot get it balanced on. So I think 1 step, 2 steps. Okay, so finish with the hutang lapor terboleh. Coming up, they have the next part, peruntukan hutang ragu of 5%. So they put it here because they want you to feel like confused, because maybe is it the third point need to minus out from ABT, because some people will mistaken it as hutang lapor, right? So here, make sure you got no changes to your ABT, because PHR is 5% on the original amount of ABT. There's no changes to it. So we're going to take here your account belong terima on the second section, 28,600. You multiply by 5%. Find the answer out, and you don't need to write it by yourself, because on the third section, we have an old PHR. This one is last year's amount. Now, in this year, we found it to be brand new 1430. Is it good or is it bad? Of course, it's good, because last year we were worried about ABT more than this year. So when your worry got lesser, you have to use something else to explain about it. That is called the hutang ragu. So hutang ragu, the proper name is either pertambahan ataupun pengurangan peruntukan hutang ragu. But actually SPM also accepts hutang ragu lah. That's why I will write this. And then the convenience of writing hutang ragu, right, is that no matter if the tambah or kurang, I call it hutang ragu. It's only that I need to identify the hasil or the belanja people. So you see, from 1,600, it become 1,430. It's a good sign, right? But how much is the difference? You find out, minus them, and you will find 170 ringgit gap. You cannot don't explain because it gotten lesser, but how? Or because there's the hutang ragu, means the ragu is become lesser. We will put under hasil section. Okay, so it helps you to find your new PHR, that is the 1430. Finish up. Okay, so 2 steps. Now, I think almost finishing already. I still got 3 more points. Commission belum terima 1440. This is very simple. Just gonna take it as it is because they write the name properly for you already. Belum terima represents asset semasa. But at the same time, belum terima also means less. We receive less. Okay, too little. So what should we do? If you receive too little, the step is you should add it back. So the 1440 will be added into commission in front in your imbangan duga. Over here, 380 plus 1440. You get your answer, 1820. Hasil. Okay, so just like that, finish. And now we have 2 more points to go. Now, coming up, this next point is a bit confusing. I need to explain properly. Now, pinjaman bank, need to split into LS and LBS if given number one, um, total borrowing means the jumlah pinjaman. Okay, how much you borrow. Second, tarik mula. Number three, tarik matang. So they must give you these three things. Only you can split it into LS and LBS, means both at the same time. But if they don't give you one of the item, means there's no tarik. I only see total borrowings and I see the tarik matang. No use. You can only choose LS or LBS. So only rare case that we need to split into both because the way loan works is actually to pay the nearest 12 months first. And actually, like I have experience because I also loan for my car. So basically, what the bank will ask you to do is they will calculate the total amount you borrowed, the sum of borrowing. They will divide it by how many years you want to borrow. Example, I borrow for 9 years. 9 years, how many months is that? You times 12, it total to 108 months. So let's say I borrow 70,000. They will take this 70,000 and divide it by 108 months to me. 70,000 divided by 108 months. To find out that I need to pay 648 per month. But not only that, they will also include interest for us. But here in this question, we do not mix them together because faedah is a belanja. While to pay back the pinjaman is just to clear your hutang sahaja. There's no belanja involved by paying back your pinjaman. That is why now we will also do the same thing. We will check how much is it that we must pay per month versus how much we should already pay for this tempo. Only that we will split to coming 12 months, that is next year, and the rest of the month after 12 months. Okay, LBS is for the future. LS, next 12 months. So in this tempo, we should already pay something lah. That's why now we're going to double check lor. You see, they give you 30,000. This is the first info, total borrowing. How did I know that this is the total borrowing? Because if you look back in your imbangan juga, do you see pinjaman bank already become 29,000? Means I paid how much? For this tempo, we paid 1,000 ringgit. Why I pay 1,000? Because before this it was 30,000 baht. So you can tell from that where there's a difference. This is the paid amount, means whatever left. But the original amount of pinjaman is over here. Okay, so we have the 30,000. And diperoleh pada 30 April, this is the starting date, tarik mula. But not quite accurate because 30 April is the end of April. Technically, it is representing 1st May to start. Is that okay? So we use the whole month to represent now. So 1st May, that's the beginning. Now, where can we find the tarik mata? Just now when I was showing you guys the pinjaman baki in front, there is the mata 30 April 2026. You guys can see that, right? Okay, so you're going to do your calculation on how many months is that. Now, actually, just nice that May to April is 12 months, but I cannot just put 26 there because it's a bit confusing. So I will count one by one for you guys to see. You see, if I start from 2021, my year ends on 22. Don't worry, it's not related to us yet. Okay, we're just doing for the pinjaman, like how many months to calculate. So ends on 22 April. April 2022 lah, okay? Then May 2022 ends on April 2023. 23 ends on 24. 24 ends on 25. And 25 will end on, 25 will end on 26. The ultimate goal is we reach until here. Must be 30 April, but of the year 2026. So you can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 tempo. 5 tempo means 5 tahun untuk bayar balik. How many months is 5 years? You multiply it by 12, 60 months. Okay, so once you have gotten this information, now you can officially calculate how much you pay per month and then to per year. So you use 30,000, you divide it by 60 months, you will find out that per month payment is 500, right? Now, as of this tempo, we should already pay 500 times how many months are? Now let's take a look. We started on 1st May to borrow and our tempo uphill pada 30 June 2021. Isn't that May, June? Only 2 months until the tempo ends for us because I said the maximum you can take is until 30 June. I don't care when is your pinjaman gonna end. As long as now I want to follow my own tempo for accountant, you understand? So I borrowed on 1st May. Then I only need to pay until June for this report lah. Then the upcoming report I will start on July and then until another June again. So just I follow my own 12 months. Then so here I need to pay 2 months. You times the 12, times the 2 means that you should pay 1,000 ringgit. And how much did you pay? You did pay also 1,000 because you can see from the original value compared to the baki over here is different by 1,000 ringgit, right? So whatever you should pay, you already did it. It's correct. There's no too much, there's no bit too little. That's why on the upcoming LS, it will be next 12 months. So to calculate that, you come back in front to your 29,000. You are in task to split it into LS and LBS. But how to find? Always remember LS is the coming 12-month figure. So since we didn't pay too much or pay too little, next year's LS wouldn't get affected. It will be 500 times 12. You need to pay 6,000 on the coming year. While for LBS, how to get? Don't worry, it's splitting, right? If I already split 6,000 here, how much more is left? 29 minus 6,000, 23,000. That's all. Okay, so later when you guys put into your penyata kedudukan keuangan, you will see this pinjaman bank being 2 times, once in your LS, another time inside LBS, but their numbers are different lah. Okay, so how are you going to check whether you've done it correctly? Is that when you add these two back together again, it must go back to this figure. They didn't want you to change it. They just want you to split. So to understand the concept is you will never involve this year's payment into next year's LS because whatever we're planning right now is for next year, not for this year. Unless you're talking about belanja and hasil lah. Of course, belanja hasil is according to this year, but ABS, AS, LS, LBS, EP, all these are looking for baki, HB. For what? So that I can bring to next year ma. That's why they want you to split for the coming year lor. Okay, so nothing to do with this year's pinjaman already because this year you paid just nice. All right, so we finished. That's all. Okay, all they do is just for you to check in and split for them. That's it. And then now we're gonna move on to the last point of this question. Dokumen berikut baru diterima dan belum direkod dalam mana-mana buku. This is a makluman debit. So for those of you who did attend my class before, you should know that I said makluman debit is always opposite from us. So why? Because this one is sent by the bank. Bank's view on our money. Yes, need to. Later, I will explain about the faedah. But once we finish first, because the faedah is actually hidden. So I want to do all the obvious one first, then later we go back to the faedah. Because they are separate ones. The faedah don't affect the pinjaman splitting figure. It's a separate point. Yeah, so later I go back to the front. Okay, so now we finish here first. Now, bank view on our money is they will look at our money as a liability to them. Why? Because actually the money doesn't belong to them, right? It seems like how when one of my customer or maybe say someone that's supposed to pay me money, I should receive the hasil, They give me in advance. Hasil belum terboleh. Why do we put under liability? Because it's not yet my money. That's why I will temporarily put it in liability to avoid from using it. So same thing goes to bank. When they get our money into the bank account, they don't look at it as their asset. They look at it as a liability. Because anytime when I want to withdraw the money, they have to return it back to me, right? So that's why for bank, right, liability. When we put money in, it will make their liability to us increase. This is credit side. For liability ma, positive is credit ma. And as we take out the money, liability of bank to us will get lesser by this. So that's why I want you to understand. Whenever they send you a makluman debit, right, it's in their point of view. Debit means negative. Okay, so you do not need to look from their point of view. You look from your own point of view. Debit means for us is credit side because they wanted to do negative. It's always opposite from us one. So here it will affect your bank in which way? That is a negative to the bank, right? Same goes to us. So why do they want to minus it? Because of here chargeback. So you have two steps to do. Number one, it will reduce the money in your bank and also it will become a belanja. Chargeback 187. So here we just leave it because for the belanja it's brand new, but for bank it's already in front. So you have to go back to the front and minus 187 from your bank. Okay, so let's go to imbangan juga. Bank is 8810. If I minus 187, our bank will be left with 8623. Assets termasuk. Okay, so all the pelarasan that we should do in the maklumat tambahan is already finished. Now we're going to do the last part, yeah, over here. This one, the 7%. Don't you think that the 7% got nothing to do because pinjaman always will have faedah. Bank don't do like rugi business one. Of course, they want to earn your money. Other than just borrowing you money, they also charge you interest. So when you calculate the percentage, do you want to use the 29,000 I said? If you have a second choice, of course you pick the second choice. Because like my form 4, right, their year-end exam was created by Kementerian Pendidikan. So for them, they actually also have this thing. Okay, the 7% beside of pinjam bank. So they didn't know what to do. But that question didn't have an original amount. Not like this one here. You have a previous figure, like what you started from. For them, they only can see a baki over here inside the imbangan juga. So I'm telling you guys, if you don't have an original amount before, you can just take 29,000 to multiply by 7%. But because this question already told you that you only started borrowing on 1st May, it's just 2 months before you end the tempo. That's why you have to go by the baki awal lah, because bank of course count you based on the starting balance on okay. So you're gonna take 30,000 to times with 7% first. Okay, so I'm gonna write the working over here. Faedah pinjaman is to be calculated using the baki awal of your pinjaman, 30,000 times 7%. But that's not all because 7% represents for a year. I always say percentage means setahun, 12 months. You only borrow it on May. Your tempo are here by the 30 June. So May, June is only 2 months. That's why when you have to pay for faedah, you only pay for 2 months out of 12. So the faedah pinjaman for this question is 350 belanja. Now, one of the reasons why we are writing it down here is also because of it having no faedah atas pinjaman inside of the imbangan. Whenever a belanja or hasil you cannot find inside, right? Means what? Means that it is not paid before. It is not only your belanja, it will also become your faedah pinjaman belum bayar. The same number becomes a belum bayar. That is your liability support. Okay, so we already finished with the second question. Any questions to ask? Is that okay? So your faedah pinjaman, you don't expect them to always put at maklumat tambahan. Sometimes they will even put beside of the pinjaman thing. But later on, when you guys write the LS and the LBS, no, you don't need to write this anymore. You can just put pinjaman bank LS 6,000, pinjaman bank 23,000 under LBS. Okay, so the name just pinjaman bank. But of course, if you accidentally put the 7%, it's not wrong so lah, because the rate of the pinjaman is memang 7%. Okay. Teacher is it fixed that every time got FAP, it will be a FAP belum bayar too. I would say normally yes, because it's a belanja mah. So it's always possible for belanja to have belum bayar or prabayar. Not just belanja lah, actually hasil also. So let's say if you found it to be 350, okay, and then inside, right, I show example. Here already have a FAP, but the number is 200. What you do is, you don't need to write all this out already. You understand? You can just go to the 200, you cut it off like how you usually do your belanja. You replace the 350, put your belanja symbol, and then FAP belum bayar is how much? The difference, 150 ringgit. So a bit like normal belanja lah. But now it's because it's completely not found inside of the imbangan duga. That's why we have to mention it's the same number lor. Okay, so we finished with question 2. I will go on to question number 3. Yeah. Okay. Question 3 is belanjawan tonight. So you all know, right? Actually, question 2 and question 3 cannot choose one. You have to do it. So if you are lucky enough that belanjawan tonight comes out in your question 2 or 3, then please, I hope you can get full marks for it, because belanjawan tonight is such an easy chapter compared to your other 4, 5. Okay, right. So question 3. Is that it? Let me remind you of things. Yeah. Okay. Form 5, chapter 3.2. Belanjawan tunai. There is few things you cannot put inside. The first one is SN, SNT. You don't even need to calculate, okay? If they say susut nilai alatan, because susut nilai is a belanja because the value of the item become lesser. But does it make your money get lesser? No. So if it doesn't relate to money, you don't put inside. Now the second thing doesn't relate to money is peruntukan hutang ragu. It's all an estimation of ABT that I might not get back. But ABT itself is not even inside the tunai or the bank, right? It is a non-existent money. I haven't even gotten it yet. Belum terima mah. So even if you suspect it doesn't affect your tunai or your bank, you don't do it. Okay? And one more is hutang lapuk. Remind you that hutang lapuk's process is what? You will minus out from ABT. Do you minus from bank? Do you minus from tunai? You don't. So that's why these 3 things not related to money. So you only can record things that will make your money increase or your money decrease. So technically, belanjawan tunai is the same as buku tunai. Whatever that you don't put into buku tunai, then you don't put into belanjawan tunai also lah. It's just that belanjawan tunai, they are anggaran, means I estimate the future 3 months. But all of them should be related to money because it's a tunai version. Now, maybe you all would think only tunai can be included. Actually, no. There can be 3 types. Tunai, tunai ringgit, bank. These 3 types all can. So they mix together. Not like buku tunai got separate columns. Here is mixed. So that's why in the beginning, when you choose your baki, you only pick those related to money. Tunai, bank, these 2. Added together, 15750. So of course you also need to check lah, because sometimes, right, if it's a baki awal, they will say the word baki. But if it's not, they will say memulakan perniagaan. That one wouldn't be used as baki bibi already. Yeah. If it's a memulakan, whatever the beginning amount is gonna be used as model, is considered as penerimaan. But in this case here, they already say baki, so cannot model lah. It's a baki bibi. For which month? Over here, May. Okay, so the rest you can just leave it first, because later we might need to use it, except kenderaan. Kenderaan confirm won't use. Well, why ABT and ABB must keep leh? Because these are the people that yet to receive from or yet to pay. Maybe on the coming month, I want to pay leh, I want to receive leh, so we will keep it first. Okay, now go down. Later on, if there's any penerimaan, we will put as T. Pembayaran, we put B. Bayar. Okay, so we start from point one. Jualan bulan Mei adalah 38,000. Dan dijangka meningkat 10% pada bulan berikutnya. 30% daripada jualan diberi tempoh kredit selama sebulan. Means that the 30% is jualan credit. But can I ask you guys, 30% is jualan credit. Then anything else that we should know but they didn't tell us? That you can find out yourself actually. 30%, usually full percentage is how much? 30% is definitely not the full one, okay? Full percent is 100%, okay? If 30% is jalan credit, then what about the rest? No need to count. You think so easy, okay? Of course, need to count. 70%, yes, very good, Jashan. Is jalan secara tunai. So this is the common mistake. You guys can score one, just that you think too easy, okay? You follow the question. See jalan credit ma, then I count jalan credit lah. But in fact, they didn't even want jalan credit. They want you to count account belum terima. So you must be careful because I say whatever you don't put inside buku tonight, then don't do inside lah. Okay, so you can put jalan credit, never mind, but you can put ABT ma when they pay you lor. That's why over here they got give you like a syarat. Selama sebulan means if I sell to them on May, when will I receive the money back? I give them a month time. May I don't put it. I will put it on June. And if I sell to them on June, when will I receive the money? July. That is why we don't call it jualan credit. We call it ABT. Because when we receive money, we receive from the person. So every time you follow this table, you don't change the structure. First one, you put jumlah. Second, you put jualan. Third, you put ABT. Follow this sequence. This is the best sequence. Okay, and then now please understand that jumlah means full, 100%. While jualan is the tunai version, 70%. Account belum terima is the credit that they mentioned, 30%. But you don't need to waste time to calculate 30% first. It's going to be very confusing. So you go ahead and do the jualan tunai. Because jualan tunai is definitely going to be received in the month itself. You cannot bring to next month one. That's why you score the mark first. Only you go into ABT. Okay. Now, finding the jumlah is the main point. They told you May is 38,000. I'm going to put M. 38,000. June is going to increase 10% from the month before. So you want to straight away get the answer, right? You take 38,000 times 110%. You can get the answer straight away. Okay, 38,000 times 110%. 41,800. July, also you use June, 41,800 times 1.1. This is the percentage in decimal. If you don't want to, you can still press 110%, no problem. 45,980. Why is it 110%? Because it's meningkat 10% daripada bulan from the one before lah. Okay, they didn't say it, so I say daripada bulan sebelumnya. So the bulan sebelumnya itself is 100%. If you want to increase 10% means it will be equals to 110% of the new figure lah. Okay, but anyway, if you find this very confusing, it's fine. Just take 38,000 times 10% already, 3,800. You add into 38,000, you will get the same number, 41800. Okay, all right. So now you got the jumlah. Let's figure out all the jualan first. Follow the month times 70%. So first month, 38,000 times 70%, 26,600. Second month, 41,800 times 70%, 29,260. Don't get distracted. Count jualan first. 45980 times 70%, 32,000. 186. So here you already secure your mark for the first type of penerimaan that is called the jualan. Do not mention the word tunai. Jualan itself means tunai version already. Well, account below terima. Remember that the concept is like this one. When I sell on May, 70% is 26,600 ma. The rest, isn't it 30%? Will be brought to the next month. So you do not need to times 30% anymore. Just take total minus 70%, bring to next month. That is the 30% left. So 38,000 minus 26600, 11,400. Continue, June. Total minus 70%, bring to July. 41,800 minus 29,260. 12,540. So we found our second penerimaan. But still, there's an empty space over there, right? Now, you must understand that we will bring forward the previous month's ABT, the jualan credit, to the next month to receive. If this is May, means that if I want to fill up this gap, the money should come, the amount should come from April, right? You see this one? Which month does it come from? April lah, because Baki first made is BB War. How can I have Baki BB? I need to have a Baki HB that is from April that I bring to May. So that's why you will take this number, put it into the first month, receive on May. Is that okay? Just in case y'all cannot remember, I just put a different color so you can see it easily lah. So we already gotten two penerimaan. Are you gonna copy the jumlah later? No, you only need jualan and ABT because jumlah already been split into two parts. Okay, so finish with point one. Let's move on to point number two. Point two is also similar, but it's about berlian, how much we should pay. Berlian already found out the jumlah for you. So it's very good. You don't need to do it by yourself anymore. The jumlah is already ready. Now we just need to split them. How I know that it must be split left? Because if it doesn't need to be split, they will just say berlian tunai year lah. Very good. So they won't say jumlah berlian adalah seperti, very good, give you a list of items, then sentences one. So confirm need to split lah. So the sequence is again saying the secara tunai version will always be at the front, while the secara credit ones will change into the person's name, which is account belum bayar. They say 60% daripada berlian mendapat kemudahan kredit selama sebulan. Berlian credit sebulan. So 60% is for ABB. How many percent for berlian? 40% for berlian. Okay, so come. Let's find out all the berlian first. 40%. First month, 28040 times 40%. 11216. 31,200 times 40%. 12,480. 32,580 times 40%. 13,032. So you secure your first bayaran. It's called the berlian. Okay, next, ABB to find is the remainder, right? So you use May minus jumlah tolak berlian, bring to June. That is your ABB. 28040 minus 11216. 16,824. Okay, June, repeat the same thing. Jumlah tolak berlian, bring to July to pay. July to pay. 31200 minus 12,480. 18720. So we already gotten bayaran number 2, but that's not all because you see this empty spot here. If just now for account belum terima also have number, don't you see there's an ABB over here? This one also from April must pay. So that's why we bring in. Okay, this one 6730 must be paid on May. Okay, so we finish for point 1 and point 2. Now let's move on to point number 3. Point 3. Perniagaan dibantu oleh 2 orang pekerja dengan bayaran gaji bulanan 1,200 seorang. Dan pada bulan Jun, seorang pekerja akan dinaikkan gaji sebanyak 20%. Okay, so I'm going to list it out first, yeah. May got two workers. Each of them will be paid 1,200. That is 2,004, right? Now on June, one of the workers is gonna dinaikkan gaji. They will have a pay raise of 20%. So if you're not sure what is this 20%, how to count, you just make sure to use my method just now. It's dinaikkan, not become 20%. So if you want to know how much is the original plus the 20%, you can just use 1,200 times 100, 20%. Okay, so 1,200 times 120%. The worker that got a pay raise is now worth 1,440. While the other workers, they didn't talk about it. That's why they will remain at 1,200. Total that we have to pay on the June month is 2,640. Now, by the time July, do we resume back to 2004 or do we keep it at 2,640? The answer is, of course, you keep it at 2,640 lah. You want to give them pay raise for only 1 month, eh? No ma, the pay raise is consistent one. So once June happened, then July is gonna carry on with the same amount. So this we will call it as gaji. It's a bayaran. Finish. Now, as for point four, nothing much here lah. Anggaran belanja bulanan is the most useless thing ever. Just copy only lah, okay? Every month same. So here we will have to find ourselves with three bayaran. Kada bayaran belanjaan and promosi. Repeat all for May, June, July. So far our bayaran found is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There is 6 bayaran in total. Penerimaan is jualan and ABT sahaja. Okay, now the final point of this question number 3. Pada bulan Jun, perniagaan bercadang untuk membuat pinjaman sebanyak 54,000 dengan kadar faedah 4% setahun selama 4 tahun. Bayaran ansuran akan bermula pada bulan berikutnya. So means that we will start paying our loan installment starting from the month after we borrow. So first thing must remember is before you think about paying back, guys, you must obtain the money first, only you can pay back, right? So the first thing that always will be forgotten by students is to put this pinjaman into penerimaan. If you don't put it in, your June month, July month is going to get affected so much that you might get kurangan in the end. But actually, it shouldn't be because you have a pinjaman to come in on the month of June. Okay, every time you should get the pinjaman first, only to start paying. So here, then you can start to consider your faedah and your bayaran balik. So I usually will count bayaran balik first because that one is easier. Okay, by using what? Here, selama 4 tahun. I will multiply by 12 to find out that per every 48 every month I have to pay how much. So total, I will be paying for 48 months. Okay, that's the concept. And now, we don't need to take the faedah in first. I will use 54,000 only to divide it by 48 months. This is purely to pay back the amount we borrowed. 1125. Okay, but on top of the amount we need to pay, it also includes faedah. So the interest is based on the amount we borrow. 54,000 times 4%. But 4% is only represent 1 year, right? I am borrowing for 4 years. Of course, you need to multiply by 4 tahun to get the jumlah faedah. Only then to divide it by 48 months. Now, I know that some of the students, right, they actually do this. 54,000 times 4% divide by 12. You also get 1 month. But I would say that is not the proper way because when it comes to banking, how they calculate, right, they never do only 1 year for you. They will get the total first, only to be divided. Actually, it's the same thing one, but then it's more risky because when it comes to calculation, sometimes you get it wrong. So I just fix it for you. Remember to always use the percentage and the years they give you in the calculation of faida. And as for the divide, then it's how many months for the 4 years times 12 lor. That's always going to be found out lah. Okay. So answer is 180. So now that we already gotten both the answers, in your schema jawaban, they actually split it, but it's no matter one, because if you combine, it's 1 mark. Separate, also 1 mark. Then why you want to waste your time, right? Okay, so my suggestion is don't need to separate. Just call it ansuran pinjaman. This is exactly how real life does it, okay? The bank actually will just combine the two figures together to become your monthly installment. So you don't need to separate. Yeah, 1125 plus 180 is 1305. This is bayaran, but which month of bayaran? It says bayaran akan bermula pada bulan berikutnya. I obtained the pinjaman on June. Of course, I will start paying on July. Okay, so that's all finished for the belanjawan tonight. Okay, so let's move on to bahagian B. For bahagian B, right, I actually want to consider choosing one of it first. But anyways, I want to tell you guys, if during the exam you are given these choices, bahagian B, question 4. What is this part? Oh, this is the record tak lengkap for sure because you can see 1st January, 31st December. But good thing is there is no buku tonight. The moment you see no buku tonight, means it's a record tak lengkap perbandingan version. Can you see? Penyata mengira model. Penyata mengira untung rugi. So you guys can write down, this is Form 5 Bab 2. Record tak lengkap perbandingan. So I will ask you guys to choose it, but I won't discuss that because this question 4 is so simple. Just do your perbandingan. But in case you guys have forgotten that, okay, just saying first, perbandingan only uses A equals to L plus EP. They don't use belanja, they don't use hasil. No hasil, no belanja. That's why there's no point of giving you a buku tonight because all they need is asset liability EP to find out all the information. So you see, the first step is to penyata mengira model. Model is part of EP. If they give you already asset and liability, how you find EP? A minus L. So for the first part, if you want to mengira your model, is by taking asset tolak liability. Or for the second one, penyata mengira untung rugi with just 3 things available, A, L, and EP. How to find it out? You will use terbalik EP method. So what is the terbalik EP? Now, usually your equity per minute begins from model awal, but now instead of starting from model awal, we will start from model akhir. Okay, terbalik further, ambilan becomes plus. Because you want to reverse the whole thing. So initially, how you get model akil is by minus ambilan ma. But now I don't want model akil. I want model awal. So to get it back, I will plus whatever that is minus and minus whatever that I used to plus off. That is your model tambahan and model awal to be minus. So once you finish minus, then the answer comes out in untung bersih. Is that okay? So I give you guys guidance on this question 4A lah, but I'm not gonna do it. You all go ahead and do your revision yourself. So is everybody done writing this one? Are you all done? Okay, come. Then let's move on to the next part, which is B. Okay. Now part B here is given to you syarikat. This is about 5 questions. I say so easy because from 5 part 5, you only have 2 formulas to calculate from. Do you see that they already give you model diterbitkan dan berbayar penuh? Okay, so you don't need to find MDBP already. You just need to find dividend. Okay, how to find dividend? Dividend is to take model diterbitkan dan berbayar penuh multiply by percentage. And also, do you see they give you this box? Pembayaran dividen 8% share keutamaan. The moment they ask you to split keuntungan, right, guys, you don't need to care about share biasa already. You care about share keutamaan enough. There is 4 million ringgit of modal diterbitkan dan berbayar penuh. If I were to promise share keutamaan to give them 8% per year, you count lah, 4 million times 8%. How much do they get per year for their dividend, like total? It is a 320k. You see, you just need to put this number into this wherever fit. So if you cannot pay 320k, then there will be this thing called there will be this thing that will bring over to the coming year. So can you see, among the 4 years, there is 2 years that you don't get to pay. Finish everything. In 2019, no. 2020 also cannot because you promised 320, right? Do you even have 320k here? Don't have. Here, even worse is dash tiada keuntungan. Only when 2021 you have money again. So to put them in, you need to redraw the table, guys. Don't you go ahead and fill out in the question paper, okay? During the exam, you have to draw the same table again. Show them as your answer for point one. Okay, then now just put in it is 300,000 to 320,000 for the first year. So share biasa get what? Share biasa will get the remainder. So here is like this. Sorry, put wrong place. Because we actually split. So to get your pembayaran dividend share biasa, you just take the jumlah, tolak the 320 is 300. Sorry, wrong. Is 430,000 for share biasa. Is it normal for share biasa to get more than the share keutamaan? Yeah, it's totally normal because share biasa tiada kadar dividen tetap. Tiada kadar dividen tetap, so don't worry. Okay, continue. Second year. Here, we cannot pay the 320,000, but it's okay. I give them all first. 300,000. Do you think anything left for share biasa? Nothing. I gave everything. So here we have a what? We have a tunggakan dividend of 20,000. Tunggakan means like owings, okay? Because we're supposed to give them all, but we didn't manage to fulfill our promise. So there will be a tunggakan dividend of 20k happens on 2019. It will be brought to 2020. But again, because we don't get to pay, 2020 got no keuntungan, so no matter it's for your share keutamaan or your share biasa, they are all zero. Then what about for 2021? In 2021, you will have to pay them. You see, here tunggakan dividend is 320k because you didn't give your share keutamaan. Total tunggakan already how much? 340k, right? So 340k is the tunggakan. Add on to how much you should pay per year to them. 320,000. Can we get to clear everything on the year of 2021? You jumlahkan, total is 660,000. We can pay. So on 2021, you will pay them this amount. This one is 2021. This is of 2019 and 2020. Can understand? So the tunggakan will be jumlahkan together to be paid one shot in 2021, as long as the jumlah is enough to pay for it. If again the jumlah is not enough, then we will calculate again what is the tunggakan, then bring to the coming year once again. Then for share biasa, got anything left or not? Got, because 700 minus 660 still got 40,000. So share biasa will get 40. Okay, now over here, right, they ask you, kada dividend means how many percent is for the share biasa on the year of 2021. Means you will go based on 40,000 to calculate. You see, the percentage, right, is used like this one. Dividend equals to MDBP times how many percent? Okay, to get the answer lah. So now I don't know what is the percentage. I just put an unknown here first lah, okay, X. All right, the dividend is 40,000. MDBP of the share biasa is this one, 2 million. You sub in 2 million times, okay, we don't want the percentage, we change it into something else so that it doesn't get so confusing. So technically, X, actually no need the percent, just put X, okay, because we're trying to find X, X is the kada dividend. How many percent? Percentage is just like something for presentation, nothing much one, it's just there, yeah, as a symbol. So I want to find X, which how many percent? So if you want to find X, isn't it you just need to move your 2 million to the other side? So when 40,000 divided by 2 million, you will get 0.02 equals to X. Oh, sorry, the percentage must be here as well. X percent. Okay, so if you want to change, technically X is 0.02 ma. But if you add on X as a percentage, means you also times percentage on it times 100. X is equals to 2%. Okay, so you can testing and see whether 2% really gets you 40,000 or not. Just to double check, you take this 2 million times 2%. Answer is 40,000. So that is how it works. Because X itself comes with a percentage mark. So X is 0.02. But if you want it to be percent, you need to have 100. That's why you times the 100, that is the percentage of kada dividend. Okay, so this is how you should figure out by using my equation form. All right, so I already solved for question 4B with you guys. I think the only challenge is part 2 lah. Maybe you don't know what they actually want. But if they ask like this, right, next time remember, kada means percentage. So you must figure out the percentage for them based on what you counted over here. All right, so let's move on to the next question. Among question 5 and question 6, right? Actually, 5 and 6 are both also quite hard lah, to be very honest with you, because question 5 is involved with pergongsian. Question 6 is involved with club dan persatuan. So I don't know about you guys, but personally, I will find club dan persatuan easier than pergongsian. Okay, I don't know whether that's a good thing say or not, but yeah, why is it easier? It's because pergongsian got what? Got faedah, all those very messy. Some more, the same number has to go to 2 places. Pengasingan, you are account semasa. But club dan persatuan, I definitely can score for the first thing, which is the account yuran ali, because yuran is by itself, and then pendapatan dan perbelanjaan is just after pelarasan. So they didn't ask for PDK. They didn't ask me to do account perdagangan. It's actually shorter than what we usually see for club dan persatuan. So I would suggest you to try for club dan persatuan if you can do this part B. Okay, so that's why now I explain part B to you. Okay, first, give you all the back part, because if you can do club dan persatuan, but what if you cannot do B? Then you wasted your mark lah. Because over here is 8 marks, quite a lot. So come, look at 6B. What is this question over here? This is Form 4 Bab 8.1. Pelarasan in T format means have to do leja one. Okay, reminder, how is the structure of a T format pelarasan works? Actually, you must have at least 4 things inside. I list it out over here. BB, bank, UR, which is the untung rugi, and HB. But this is the last time syllabus. Now in our current syllabus, BB and HB can no longer be written just BB and HB. If you're talking about belanja and hasil, then you can only write them as prabaya, belum bayar. Hasil then is belum terperoleh, belum terima. So it's the same thing that you apply to your HB. HB also same. Is that understandable? So you are not allowed to put all these HB and BB inside of your belanja account already, because belanja and hasil memang cannot bring forward to the next year one. It's gonna be stay in the year itself. So if you want it to be brought forward, you can only give them names like all this prabaya, belum bayar, then they can go work. Because prabaya is asset, belum bayar is liability. Belum terboleh liability, belum terima asset. So A, L, and EP is very normal to be brought to the next year. Okay, so these two will now be fixed like this already. I have to write the exact names. So after that, the middle part, right, the bank and the UR represents what? Bank stands for telah diterima, telah dibayar. But it's not the same as the sebenar. Untung rugi is sebenar. They are not the same. That's why I'm telling you guys, when you arrange them, right, you remember that BB and HB don't sit the same side. Bank, UR sit the same side or not? They also don't sit the same side, because bank is what I receive versus what is I supposed to receive. They should sit on the other side. Because if I put them on the same side, means the sebenar will be added into telah diterima. It will only make the amount we receive even bigger. So I want them to be able to compare. That's why they will put on a different side. These two, always opposite. So I just give you guys this one thing you can remember by that. Bank is always positioned on the positive side of the account, because when I receive, hasil bertambah. When I pay, belanja bertambah. But as for sebenar, we say we want them to be opposite lah. So bertambah, untung rugi then gonna be opposite side, negative already. Okay, so you see this question here, they did not give you all four of them. Okay, they only give you three, because they straight away started from imbangan juga. You see the difference of words, right? And maklumat tambahan is always year end or starting of the year. Maklumat tambahan is always year end. So that's why if they give you any like terkurang terlebih name, we only look at them as HB. Okay, but it's not always that they give you HB lah. Maybe sometimes they will give you untung rugi, ask you find from HB leh. So it's either these two that will ask you to find. Okay, while BB and bank should be given by the question. So now let's take a look at imbangan juga is where you see them as bank. If you remember, just now we do the pelarasan question. What did I say about imbangan duga? Whatever inside that is imbangan duga written as belanja or hasil type, they are all dibayar and diterima. It is never the sebenar. So why do we change number then? Because I want the sebenar, then I can find the difference. That's why over here, they are all just the bank figure. Now, later on, when you want to put them into sewa diterima, dividend diterima, insurance, and gaji, where to position, don't need to change it. Do you see that they are already on their respective side? This is an imbangan duga. Of course, the front is debit column, the back is credit column. So later on, you put them back into their account, just follow back this direction. Insurance, debit, gaji, debit. Sewa, credit, dividend, also credit, because they are both hasil. Okay, be written as what? It will be written as bank. So there is no baki BB for this question. You straight away start from bank lah. It will be all your accounts first step. Okay, first item to put in. So what is the second item? Second item is gonna be UR, but I'm not sure whether we can find it. So let's take a look. Maklumat tambahan. A. Sewa belum terboleh 400. This one is the third info. Why? Because do you see HB is the last one. So they give us the HB, but can I find untung rugi now? Actually can. Okay. Untung rugi can be found using the normal way lah. Belum terboleh means too much or too little. Belum terboleh, too much. When this is too much, means that whatever I've gotten here is also too much, okay? They say too much by 400 So you take 4,800 to minus 400. Isn't it the sebenar is only 4,400 400. So where to put this UR? Always opposite to bank. So this is credit. Untung rugi will be put on the debit side. Settle. So 1, 2, 3. Finish. You can balance them already. Okay. Now what about B? Gaji bulanan bekerja is 1,500. This one is giving you the second info, which is the UR. Why? Because they said per month is 1,500 ringgit. So if I take 1,500, I multiply it by 12 months. How much should we pay to Gaji? 1,500 times 12, we should be paying 18,000. But what about the Baki HP leh? We have to give it name. Gaji is either belum bayar, if not then it's prabayar. You compare lah. This is sebenar. Here is dibayar. Can you see that the sebenar is bigger than the dibayar? You pay enough or not? You didn't pay enough. So that's why it is called a gaji belum bayar. 4,500. It's a liability, but you do not need to write the L out because there's no use over here. Just leave it as it is. Later on, we will just put it into the ledger and make the balance. Okay, so I repeat again how to find this belum bayar. You will take sebenar tolak dibayar. Then the difference is the belum bayar. Okay, C. Insurance tahunan is 3,000. This one no need to calculate lah. Straight away give you second info. You are already. Then what about third info? I want to see whether it's receiving, paid too much or paid too little. This one is sebenar. Do you see your insurance up here? Dibayar is 3,600. I paid too much because I only needed to pay 3,000, but here paid 3,600 ma. So the answer is insurance prabayar 600. Okay, so done for part C. And now final dividend tahunan is 1,500. This is your untung rugi lah. They give you the sebenar. All this tahunan is already true figure, means yearly dividend. Now, untung rugi gave you, you only need to find out whether the dividend now is received too much or received too little. This is 1,500. I received 1,200. Enough or not? Not enough lah, because I only diterima 1,200 mah. So it is missing dividend belum terima of 300 ringgit. Okay, so then I teach you guys okay. If you don't know where to put your number 3, number 3, this Baki HP, right? Always put lesser side. This is the technique that I teach you guys when we learn about ledger, right? I said HP is always to put on the lesser side so that you can fill up the gap to get them balanced, So always put on lesser side. That's why I said you don't even need to bother thinking, oh, this one is liability, which side? No need lah. Just fill your bank, your untung rugi, then you can find your HP to put where already. So just as long as you understand all these are considered as Baki HP lah, then the concept can work lor. But if you cannot remember it as a HP, then the concept might not work for you. Okay, Now I still have time. I think I will just go ahead and do this up completely for you guys. And as for the club dan persatuan and perkongsian, you all can try to do it at home lah. But maybe I will choose on the other side, which is the Terengganu, to discuss with you guys. But today is definitely a no, because even if I can explain to you, I can understand. I don't think you can understand because it's too much and too fast. So that's why we focus on here first, okay? Let's finish up the point 1 to point 4. So let's try to write it inside our exercise book. This is the only exercise we did today inside of your book. All right, so put in that this is your MRSM paper 2022. Bahagian B. 6B. All right, now they wanted all of the account, so we gotta prepare part 1 for them. Draw out the ledger. Account saver diterima, you only need to use 4 rows of space. Short one. All right, now this is a hasil. So positive is on the credit side, negative is debit side. Start from what? Start from number one. Bank. Take the saver deterimus amount. We have received 4,800. So to put on the credit side, basically is to increase your hasil law because you receive ma. So the date you put is year end 2022, August 31st. Bank, we receive 4,800. Okay, next. On the other side, you also put 2022, August 31st with the RM. Why so far? Because after bank, then it's time for untung rugi, right? Some more we said already, untung rugi is always on the opposite side of your bank. So you can reserve a spot here for them and then come into your kertas soalan to take the answer. 4,400. Now, once you have already put in, only task left is to fill up your saver belongs the boleh 400 ringgit. Always put HB on the lesser side. Do you see debit or credit is lesser? The debit side is lesser. Okay, so we're going to put to the debit side, saver belong the boleh. 400. So makes sense, right? Because I received 4,008, but only I can take 4,004. So the remainder is gonna be called the other. Next, we will split them into two parts. So if let's say I didn't receive enough, you will see them on the bank side. That is how it works, okay? All right, so we just jumlahkan both sides balance and that's it. 4,800. Finish. Now we're going to repeat the same thing for the second point. Almost same lah, but second point is the belanja account, gaji. Also four rows of space first. Account gaji. Gaji is a belanja, yeah. So the positive side is debit, negative side is credit. The beginning also the same. We will have both sides written in as 2022, August 31st. Because this question got no baki hour at all. That's why you only see one date throughout the whole question. No? 2022, August 31st. So to start, we will put in the bank figure, how much we paid. You can refer to your imbangan juga. Gaji is paid 13,500. Put debit side, yeah? Okay, debit. Bank, 13,500. Then you can go to the opposite side, write in untung rugi. In your maklumat tambahan, they said that your gaji is supposed to pay 1,500 per month, which total to 18,000 for your untung rugi. So can you see which side is the side when it's which is lacking? The debit side because you didn't pay enough. So the gaji belum bayar that we found is going to be underneath of your bank figure to make up to the 18,000 lah. So gaji belum bayar is 4,500. Balance both sides 18,000. So you shouldn't see any baki HB word because we plan to end the account. On the next year only we will reopen again. So all the belanja and hasil end on the year itself lah. Okay, so now next account. Next account is also a belanja one, that is the insurance. So I'm gonna just modify from here, yeah. Hope you guys don't mind. Okay, account insurance. So to begin, we will have our insurance to sit on the debit side with bank 3,600. Okay, with bank 3,006. And after bank, we said to always leave a space opposite of your bank as untung rugi. And this is the sebenar. Untung rugi that we have found out is actually 3,000. based on point C. Okay, so put on the opposite side at 3,000. Can you see that actually you paid too much because bank is 3,600 ma? So where to put the 600? You will go to the left side. Insurance Prabaya 600. Okay, so both sides balance 3,600. I think by the time you practice till this point, you should kind of get it what to do for your next one already lah. Okay, the last one that we're gonna be doing, part 4, it's called the dividend deterrima. So then dividend deterrima cannot be the same as point 2 or 3 lah. Dividend deterrima must be the same as point number 1 because they are hasil type. But no matter what, it's still the same on date wise, okay? No matter it's the debit or the credit, you should see 2022, August 31st. Account, dividend, diterima. Bank is on the credit side because in your imbangan juga is credit mah, 1,002 lah. Okay, so put it into the credit side. Bank, 1,200. And how much are we supposed to pay? The sebenar of dividend is actually 1,500 over here, written as part D. So go to the opposite side, write in untung rugi, 1,500. Now, which side is gonna be the one where you put your dividend belum terima? On the bank side, because there is smaller. So put dividend belum terima of 300. Now, of course, this one is only when you're doing belanja and hasil account. If we're talking about susut nilai terkumpul, or even hutang lapuk, then there's a different case already. Okay. So since I still got a bit of time, I don't think I can do the front part, but we still got about 6 minutes. I can talk about the other journeys of Pelarasan, just in case if they come up with it lah. Okay. So telling you guys first, I'm gonna be adding on an extra question of peruntukan hutang ragu. So if they want to come up with PHR, they will give you account belum terima. Maybe I put easy one now, okay? 10,000. And then there's a PHR of 120. Is that okay? So you all add on yourself like this. And now the question says, peruntukan hutang ragu diperuntukkan 2% atas account belum terima. And they ask you to prepare part 5, account peruntukan hutang ragu, part 6, account hutang ragu. Now, what are their difference? You must know, okay? Account PHR represents negative assets semasa, means that you should be able to write baki, BB, and HB inside. While for account hutang ragu, it's either a belanja or a hasil, depending on whether it is growing or getting lesser. So in the end, you want to find this thing inside of your account hutang ragu, that's the untung rugi word. So how do you do your PHR? I teach you guys, okay? You want to do it nicely, like easily. First thing is you don't care about the old PHR first. You take the latest ABT, which here only got 10,000, okay? You count 10,000 times 2%. How much is it? So 10,000 times 2% is equals to 200. What I want you guys to do is you put beside, but not just right beside, must have a gap between the 120 to the 200, like this. So you will see this front number as your Baki BB, while the back number is as the HB. So what is the difference between them? It is a positive 80 This is what we call as the utang ragu. So when you prepare account PHR, you just need to copy exactly this thing into your AK PHR is enough. So it's like this PHR, negative AS ma. So positive is credit, negative is debit. You will start from this number. Baki BV, 120. Do you see it's a positive 80 net? Go to the positive side, write in HR 80. Do you see what happened? You get it to be total 200 lor. That is why the latest number is 200. Both sides balance, and the HB will then come to the opposite side again, becomes Bucky BB. So this is how you do account PHR. It's actually very easy. As long as you do this, then you can easily just copy into the account PHR according to this difference here being positive or negative. If it's a negative, right, you will put here lor, HR. Your HB still here one, just that the figure becomes lesser, you understand? Okay, then what about HR? HR is very simple, very little things inside one. Now you will see HR as a belajar because you see it's positive, right? Now as a belajar's concept, positive is debit, negative is credit. So we will put in accordingly to the catatan berku. Do you see in account PHR, we written HR on the credit side? So to bring it into account HR, it will come to the debit written as PHR 80. So how to close the account? Just go to the opposite side, write in UR 80, and that's all. Okay, so it's not hard at all. It's only the PHR part that you must know how to do. Then your HR is just connect to it. That's it. So just remember, no matter where your UR is, it's okay one. Because HR sometimes is a hasil. If it's a hasil, then how would you look at it? Your PHR will come here. Your untung rugi will be on the debit side. Because for a hasil, credit is negative. Debit is negative. Credit is positive. Okay, so this is how you do if it's a PHR lah. Okay, so additional questions that I add on for you to understand. Bye bye.